Welcome back to another episode of the Hussla Squad podcast. This podcast was with our fourth external guest, Jackson. Jackson is my best mate and it was filmed on the 11th of August, 2022. Now, word of warning here, this podcast has absolutely nothing to do with match betting. However, I promise you it is a very entertaining podcast. Most of you could probably use it as inspiration, especially if you are currently in a job that you don't like or you're losing passion for what you do. Recently, Jackson quit his job as an electrician to chase a passion in a completely different industry. He basically has created a mobile coffee business in the last 6 months from absolute scratch and essentially decided to pull the pin on what he was doing as an electrician. He was making good money, but he absolutely hated it. And this podcast shares not only his journey, but also the pains and the temptations that come with essentially getting stuck in the mud in your own job or your life and finding what makes you tick. We went into some pretty deep conversations regarding our own lives. I also shared some insight into my own decisions to quit match betting and the reasons as to why I did that to create the Hussla Squad. Jackson also talks about his footy career. And finally, I should mention that at the end of this podcast, I had recorded a phone call a few months back before Jackson had actually created his company, talking about what he had planned to do with the goal in mind to actually post it once we did end up filming this podcast. This was filmed the day before Jackson's first ever coffee event. And I should update you all that he has absolutely taken off. And you should all follow him on Instagram at The Coffee Chief and enjoy some of his creative videos. I hope you guys enjoy this one. If you want to follow Jackson, all links will be in the description. And obviously, if you want to get in contact with us, the same goes. Don't forget to stick around for the phone call at the end. It is a really, really interesting insight into what goes on and then what actually happens in a small business. All right, welcome, guys. We've got our guest here, Jackson, as well as his... what do you call it? Dog, rat, whatever.
Ferret, whatever you want to call
Chief
it.
underneath the table. You'll probably see him pop out halfway through this. But yeah, welcome on board, mate.
Thank you.
Third guest on the show.
Yeah, I know. I just got told that the third person on the show.
Yeah, we've been holding off. We've kind of not got our editing process perfect yet, so we don't want to inundate ourselves with backlogs. We've got, actually, you're the fourth, but it is the third that'll get posted. We haven't posted one that we filmed back in June with another guy, but yeah, you'll be the fourth official guest, but the third one that will be posted. So
you're saying I'm just a practice guy?
No, you're just in between because the other one's been held back. But yeah. Well, firstly, who are you?
I don't know. I'm still trying to find myself, to be honest. But I am Jackson Bolton.
Yeah.
I guess you're probably bringing me on this podcast because I just recently trying to start a coffee business. Yeah, like it's probably we actually like did a phone call back 5 months ago, and we just listened to it before.
Yep.
And I'm full in like I'm depressed because I'm like that was literally 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And my build is like I've still got shit to do like for the build of the trailer. Like it's a horse float.
Yeah.
It was just a total shell, and I've just slowly built it. Started with the flooring, went to the carpentry, the wiring, the plumbing, list goes on, and you just find out that there's so much more to building like a coffee trailer than your first thought. You know, you go on YouTube and you go how to build a coffee cart, and 12 minutes, like, oh, that's doable. But so that's that, and we listened to that recording just before, and that was literally like 5-6 months ago. And this weekend is launch.
First official massive event, which is good. Down at Melbourne Strength Culture, which we are happy to sponsor at the Hussla Squad. But I'm your best mate, so I've been following the journey the whole time, and it is it's funny to see you kind of. I saw you downstairs when I told you the date of that filming, and you were pretty shocked.
I couldn't believe it.
June or something. It's like, nah, bro, it was March 30. So it's fine. Like we understand because we've built this business, and having Hussla Squad USA, for example, we said that everything would have been launched over a year ago now. It is launched, but it's not. And we're still putting fucking shit together that should have been done a year ago. So you'll learn, not that we're the gods of business, but like you'll learn that things take longer. If you think something's going to take 6 months, it'll probably take 24 months or 18 months.
And we've actually lived together for 6 months.
Twice. 2 occasions. First time, you always used to say, "Oh, that'll be the end of it. It will never happen again." And last year, I moved in with you for 6 months.
Those stars aligned and was like, "All right, we're gonna live together again."
Yeah, one of the worst periods of. No, it was good little stepping stone to where I'm at now, but it was required. So it's
Yeah, so as I was saying, like, we were living together, and this was when I was in my period of quitting being an electrician and working at a cafe that was just walking distance from my house. Yeah, so I was living like close by to this cafe. Yeah. And as I said, Johnny was living with me. I was working like 10 hours, coming home. What'd you say? Like,
oh, he was fucking stressed off his brain. Like,
yeah, just completely
not sustainable.
Completely and tired. And I used to just like come home from this like hospitality job and plonk down on the couch, and there Johnny's in the background there's Johnny in the background with his laptop tapping away, and I'm just thinking that I'm like completely exhausted, and I'm just like this guy's like probably woken up like at like he probably woke up he says 6:30, but he woke up at 9 o'clock. He'll work tap, and I'm like, that's a lot of work to like get to like where your business is. And I was jotting that down in my brain. I was like, I couldn't move because I was completely like thinking, but I'm like, starting a business takes time. And as I've learned that 5.5, 6 months later, and I'm still not like in a, like a functioning business yet. So, there's the little bit background story on like...
Yeah, definitely listen to the full... We'll put it at the end. It's a very good, like full-on raw conversation, not put on or anything. I did have the exact intention to do exactly what's going to happen here, like redo it later. And Jackson, with all due respect to him, probably had no idea about like the power of what that will look like now. And it's going to look really funny and it'll all come together. And as your business grows, you'll look back on it in another year and you'll be like, fuck, that's nice to hear and have... But yeah, like hearing you downstairs say, what have I done for fucking 6 months? I was like, you've done heaps, but you just probably don't. It's like going to the gym. Every time you go to the gym, you look yourself in the mirror, you look the same, right? Every time. 2, day 5, day 10. You're not going to see anything, but do you stop going? You don't. You keep going. You look yourself in 12 months' time, you'll see the difference. So that's similar to business. Like at the moment, you probably... I mean, I can see the results because the thing's been there. I've had, one coffee there. And it's very, very... It's moving, but it's easy to sit back when you're in it and say, what the fuck have I done? But not realising that you actually have done heaps. But it'll all grow over time, and this week's your first launch, so I'm sure it'll go well, and then it's just a little stepping stone into whatever else you want to do, I guess, with it. But it's definitely going to work because you've had a passion for it, and you're going to make it work. So, yeah.
That's pretty much what it's all been based on is like, I don't even know what, like every single day, I don't know what's next. It's all based on faith. It's like I've like, you be able to like speak about this with your osteo stuff, but like with electrical, I wasn't gifted when I was like 18 to know what I want. Like some people are just gifted like at a young age and like, I want to do this. Like I like sports and stuff like that, but sports is not like your forever journey. So I sort of fell into like electrical. Then you sort of like do the apprenticeship and you're like, all right, so I've worked for like, 4 years making stuff or money, climbing through roofs and under houses and stuff like that. And eventually you want to have that pay off. So then once you like become an A grade, you're like, I'm going to make some money out of it. And then that traps you in a little bit further. And I knew the whole time that I didn't love it. I wasn't like completely interested in it. And yeah, so like faith was like deciding, no, that wasn't for me. Like, let's try to find something that does. And I don't know where this is going to go. I still don't know to this day where this is going to go, but like every single day I've got to wake up and be like, I've decided that I'm doing what I want to do. Let's see where this is like going to take me. So
Well, question, like, because you're what, 29 or 30 now? You're 2 months older than me, almost 30 as well. And a lot of people will be thinking, well, is it old? Is it young? I think it's very young still. And a lot of people don't really wake up to what they want to do until they're fucking 40 in some cases. So still very young for anyone else listening. But you were making really good coin doing. Do you want to talk about like what you're doing in terms of electrical, like in terms of MBN and stuff, or do you want to talk about that experience and how and why, even though you were still making a lot of money, why did you then go back to basically making fuck all to move across?
Yeah, well, like as soon as I finished my apprenticeship, I started a business. I didn't make money straight away, so like I was doing jobs for people, like just PowerPoints and like just random shit. Like
change light bulbs.
Change light bulbs. And changing USB points and stuff like that. I tried to get that going on, but that never really took off. It took time, and then eventually, like I just got a job that was paying was easier work, more maintenance style work that was on a higher rate, easier work, and I could do a lot more of it. So I was making a lot more money, and I was working like ridiculous hours.
A lot of driving,
A lot of driving, like driving job to job, fixing, getting out of the car, like half an hour on the tools, get out, go again. And that was like for 3 years. And like I was getting excited because I'm like, oh shit, I'm making way more money than what I used to make. And this is great, like all this sort of stuff. But again, you'll be able to speak about that. It's like you're trading time for money forever. And like you sort of got to like, eventually.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with trading time for money. What we mean by that is obviously when you're working for time, that's the only way to make money. Like you're getting paid an amount for an hour or whatever. That's absolutely fine if you love your job, but if you don't, then it becomes, okay, well, what else could I be doing? And is the money that I'm getting worth the sacrifice of the time? Eventually it comes a time where it's like, you're probably mature enough to say, all right, well, we only live for X amount of years. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And I can, attest to that myself. Like osteo, although I never did it full time, I was living off match betting, but still had the osteo business there, probably making, I don't know, 20K a year or something like that, just under the tax threshold. Whether that's a coincidence, I'm not sure, but
no coincidence. What's your background?
Well, no, there's nothing like wrong with what I was doing, but like, it was never a passion for me, and I always knew that I would be doing something else eventually. Had no idea what that was until 2020 when COVID hit and Dad was sick, and then I started I always hated doing it, but I just said I'll cut it for 2 months, and as soon as I cut it, like even if it was a 2 day a week thing, I cut it completely. My whole brain just clarified and cleared up. And
force of adaptation, was it?
Forced adaptation, like in terms of like income, I wasn't relying on it, but as soon as I removed it, it just removed all this stress, and then all of a sudden I could think clearly, and then suddenly Hussla Squad was born out of nothing. So going back to you, last year, I think you decided that you're going to completely cut electrical work, which you knew would be a financial hit. Like you got mortgage. I don't know if you want to share that. Yeah, mortgage, right? And then you've said, okay, well, I'm probably going to earn $20 an hour doing hospitality work.
It was 18, just quietly.
18, okay. Well, fuck, is that the minimum?
Probably not, but like, everyone that's working in hospitality, you don't get paid.
If his boss, I'll send that clip to Amir. If he's
the shout out to Amir, I love him.
He's changed my life. He's a king. For sure. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and obviously another person that's going to succeed no matter what he does. Same kind of thing. But like when we say forced adaptation, what do you think is so good about, like, why do you think that's good for you to go from earning, I don't know, $2,000 a week, let's say, doing electrical work where you're driving around fucking interstate in some cases, and then going back to earning $18 an hour? What does that do?
It's almost like when you do it, you'll understand, like, it's almost like, we all need to like fucking like feed ourselves, like, and if you haven't got income to pay for food, like you have to do something to like, to do that. So like, I guess that's what situation I was in. I was like, have a mortgage. So I've got the big scary bank saying like, come come pay me, like sort of thing.
Yeah, or you're done.
I've got like, food bills, like, all that sort of stuff. So like cutting that, and then waking up in the morning and being like, I need to find a way out of this. So like, I guess it's just like, it's almost putting yourself in fear. Yeah. Would you say? Like,
yeah, pretty much. Like fear in a way that if you don't act, you're fucked. Yeah. And there's a consequence. Yeah. We had this chat. We can go on another topic about living out of home and living with your parents. Yeah. Same kind of topic, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's like if you let's say you live at home. We'll go on it now. If you're let's say you rent $300 a week. You earn kind of $1,000 a week, right? And then all of a sudden, well, that would be what your situation would be if you're out of home. So you're forced to pay $300 a week rent, right, before any other expenses. $300 is gone every single week. So you're going to make different decisions if you were there versus if you're at home. So if you're at home with your parents, not that this is wrong, but obviously we've had our discussions about this. If you're at home earning $1,000 a week and you're renting earning $1,000 a week, you're probably going to make different decisions because of the fact that you are forced to spend that $300. So you at home might go and then blow other money on shit because you can do it. And vice versa, if you don't have $1,000 income and you're living at home, then all of a sudden you don't have to really do anything. You just sit there in a fucking no growth phase and you don't have to do anything about it. So
comfort,
comfort, exactly. And comfort is a massive drug that humans love, and obviously it's a very toxic thing that a lot of people get sucked into. And all of a sudden 2 years, 3 years passed and you've done nothing because you don't have to. There's no consequence. Whereas if you have to do something about it, then you fucking act and you grow. And like, you've taught me a lot about this shit from speaking to each other about other stuff, and like, it's definitely all relevant. So going back, I've done it too, like cutting even the match betting stuff. I'd cut match betting for 3 months and have no income just to make me realize that, hang on a second, it's not all about just income at the expense of like what you want to do. Because there'd be times where like, yeah, cool, I'm making 2-3 grand on a Saturday, but it's like, hang on, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I need to do something about it. So you cut it, you make yourself appreciate money again, and then all of a sudden you make better decisions and you start doing what you want to do. So yeah, that's probably the main reason I don't do match betting anymore, is because I don't enjoy the energy that I put into it. Disrupts everything else because I'm too focused, and I'm always an addictive personality. Like, I'll do things flat out and I'll overcome everything. As soon as you cut it, then all of a sudden you can direct your energy into other things. So
exactly. I think one of my videos, it was like, I was driving to go buy my like $6,000 or $7,000 coffee machine, and I was saying like, it was like a this is exciting. Stop it, chief. Stop it. Come here.
Who taught him that?
Definitely not me. So I spoke about it, and I was like, stop it. I was like, this is exciting, but it's also like nervous because, I'm invested now. I've put the money down, and committed. Like there's no way out. Like, so then and then eventually I had to like, boom, 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 make decisions. And it's sort of like, for me, it's like snowball effect. Like once you invest, then the next thing comes, and the next things, and it snowballs you in the right direction or whatever. So that's how it's worked for me anyway.
Yeah, good. We probably should have introduced this at the start, but what are we wearing here?
Yeah, I know. I did want to say this. I woke up this morning, I'm like, I haven't bought clothes for like, I haven't bought food. I've cut down like a meal. Like, I used to eat like pretty well, but like, so I'm like, I sent JP a Snapchat this morning with this kit, and I'm like, podcast ready. And he's just going, 100%. We're wearing the Moroccan style. What are they called? What do you call them?
I don't know what these are called, but obviously we went to Morocco in end of 2016. This was obviously from Morocco. We all got one, and we used to walk around and.
Actually, like, we have also hats. They're more sort of Russian style hats, so we should have brought them.
No, I don't like mine.
But Johnny gets a bit like ashamed when he
I don't like things on my head. So
is Chief annoying you?
Oh, he's fucking not sure. But do you have any questions for me? We'll talk more. We'll get the flow going again in a sec. But I have some.
I got a couple of questions for you. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Actually, I wouldn't mind going down this path. Is like in terms of like match betting, I've never been into it because my brain doesn't work like that. It's like very mathematical. It's very logical. It's whatever.
Yeah, but you've done it, yeah?
Yeah. I've done it, yeah. I wouldn't say successful, but I've had a crack at it. But I want to go more down the path of like I'm interested in the way that you're going down, like the Australian gambling scene. It's an interesting one. It's a touchy subject for some people. People get a little bit like touchy on it. But I'm just interested. What's the plan there? Like, where are we going?
Yeah, you asked me this like in a private convo last year because we were kind of going deep into what our why is and all that, because otherwise you just get fucking whatever, like you just lose the plot and don't really know what you're doing with anything and just get consumed by whatever, right? And you said, what's the goal? Like, what are you doing all this for? And then I'm like trying to work it out. We watched that power video or whatever. Is it power? Is it ego? Is it financial gain? Whatever. For me, I found it and I kind of worked it out, and it's definitely to the end goal. A lot of people probably won't want to hear this because it'll probably prevent them from making money, but probably to completely destroy the industry in a way where promotions and specials are changed to the point where it's almost very hard to make profit very easily off these bookies. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, you've made a business to make people money, but then you want them to be removed. If it gets to the point where it's removed, it means we've had enough impact to completely not bring down the industry. We're not like going to ever destroy it, but to have an impact on it enough to be able to make them change it, which we've already seen is happening. Like, for example, the other day, the system, Tom and Steve, Steve made an awesome spreadsheet, which all the new statements that have come out now with the monthly statements, the bookies are required by law to send out a statement. I've explained this to you. And basically, we put out a video to show that Sportsbet aren't truly showing the profit and loss of the betting statement. It shows a net result and a graph, which is nothing to do with the profit and loss. And the government has made them do this, but somehow they don't have to show the true profit and loss on the statement, which is absolutely baffling. But we put out that video to show that, obviously, and it went a little bit viral. And then the next day, Sportsbet changed 4 words on their statement to say includes winning stake or whatever on the net result, which is, I mean, some people might say it's not from us, but we know for a fact because it got 40,000 views and very much the next day it was changed. But still no profit and loss. So we're making these small changes, and obviously Sportsbet's blocked me on Instagram, blocked Hussla on Instagram. We've had a number of different other events happen, which probably won't share, but like there is small inroads, like there is changes. And if it ever gets to the point, we're probably, I don't know, 12 months away from that, I'd say. That would be the main goal. And if it gets to that, it means we've impacted and we've helped. Because if we're impacting, it means less people are losing, and obviously less money's being given to bookies. So I guess that's my main passion, and that has nothing to do with making money myself. That has, like, it's past that now. Like our company's very successful, and it's beyond the point of, okay, we're trying to make as much money as possible. It's wanting to help people and then impacting the industry to say like a big fuck you basically to them. So I don't know if
which is pretty much like those all the what do you call it, gambling ads and stuff like that sort of culture's like which is pretty fucked at the moment. Like, you can't get away from it.
Well, we do have plans as well me and Tom and probably whoever else wants to get involved, we're trying to get a third company set up starting next year, 2023, which will be focused on more, I guess, awareness around gambling, not anti-gambling, but awareness around how it all works, and then getting into schools and educating from a younger age to make sure that obviously people aren't getting sucked into the gambling way. And that is going to have, we hope, more impact because we're going to get like ambassadors on board, and we've spoken to a number of ex-AFL players who are pretty keen on doing it, as well as some other people in the industry. And when you can get those people on board, obviously we are impacting, but we're never going to impact, like, for example, if, I don't know, fucking Nick Rewalt was to come on board with us, or someone really big, they're just going to have
Lloydie.
way more effect. Yeah,
Matty
but
Lloyd.
Matty Lloyd call out. He's the guy, I reckon.
Matty Lloyd. Oh, man.
I saw him like roll up.
Go off hits if he was here.
Yeah, he cringed when Hutchison was talking about and Caro were talking about the Channel 9 thing that they did, and when she did have a go at Barrett as well, and Lloydie was on Caro's side, and you could see how he hated it.
Yeah.
And Lloydie, mate,
He's
we're
a
going to
straight-
call you eventually. We've held off because we're not ready yet to get you involved.
He's a straight shooter. I get all blushy when we talk about Lloyd
Yeah,
too.
to be fair, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you, actually, just reminding me. You came from a heavily like sporting background as a kid, very athletic, and obviously footy and cricket, but footy was your main thing. And obviously your uncle played with Matty Lloyd at Essendon. And yeah, I know you've always been a fan of old Lloydie. He wasn't my
Lloydie
favourite.
on the field and off the field. Like,
Yeah.
who does it better than Matthew Lloyd? Seriously.
Yeah, I never used to like him as a kid, but now having matured and got older, I can see I definitely am a fan of him as well. But yeah, we'll reach out to him and a number of other guys. I reckon we'll get Lloydie on board for sure. Once we get in contact with him, have a coffee with him or something.
Mate, his moral height,
Yeah, straight bat.
Is
He just knows what to say, what to do. Doesn't do anything wrong.
No.
Good father, family man.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't fucking not signing up with bookies, selling himself to them.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
yeah.
He's a good, somewhat good role
man.
model, and obviously a successful footballer. But do you want to talk about your footy or nah? You
My
don't like
footy.
that?
I mean, I want to talk about not my footy, but my health. Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking this in the car the other day. Like,
Can you take this guy?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
pissing me off. Fucking rat.
Naughty boy. So I was thinking the other day, like, I've just turned 30, yeah?
Yeah.
And you would have seen me when I was probably 20, 21,
Yeah.
in shambles, like, health-wise.
Body, not health. Like, or
Like,
you mean
it
health?
actually is health. Like,
Well, yeah, injuries.
Yeah.
More so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I understand 50-year-olds better now, like from being in my 20s. So I feel like my 20s is my 50s. So I've sorted a lot of shit out like in my 20s. Like the whole decade was dedicated to getting like my body issues right. Like from my two shoulder surgeries, knee surgery, lower back issues.
Yeah.
I've gone to so many different people to try to find an answer for why I can't just simply go for a run, or why I simply can't just go for a walk without agony. Like I was 24 walking downstairs, like sometimes backwards because my knees were cooked. And it's made me learn like so much about my health, about my body, emotional things can like connect with body, but like I know my health a lot better now than what I did. So like in terms of footy, I kept playing till I was about 26, 27, and sort of just like quit footy just because it was just too much like mental stress on every single time I'd go out to the thing of being like, my knee's fucked, like, and I can't help it, like, and I don't know what to do anymore. And that was just like, it was ruining my mental health as well. So tried bike, tried swimming, they all didn't really work. Tried gym, like all outlets. I never had an outlet. Found boxing. For some reason, I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and for some reason, boxing, like I can go a few hours without like any sort of pain with that. So yeah, I'm just probably on in my 20s. I'm in the journey of like getting back to like health. And you would have seen it, and you fucking hate it.
No, I've seen this
my
guy
God.
go through rubbish. Like he just fucking sit there, complain. And to be honest, you take it for granted. I've myself touch wood, plaster, whatever. That I can do what I want to do, and haven't had that issue.
Yeah.
And I still play footy. I'm nearly 30. I feel like I'm fucking 22 still. I can do everything. I recovered from games, no problem. Whatever. But like I rolled my ankle massively on the Saturday. I sent you the video, and I literally Sunday it was fine. And it's like I probably got away with potential like broken fibula or something. So like shit like that.
But so that was like injuries like that are not bad. You go, you injure yourself. It's 6 weeks, ones, and you go, okay, at 6 weeks I can do this. But for me, it was like I was 21 and saying, JP, like you're a fucking osteo. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Yeah, literally. And I used to I've sent you to probably 4 or 5 people thinking they would fix you up. I've helped you myself, and like yes, I'll help you in the short term. And I'm not saying that it didn't help, but it's probably a deeper issue that you've probably worked out a little bit, but still not fully. Yeah,
and I'll tell you what, it goes like diet is huge.
Yeah,
like,
diet.
Only massive. Just recently, like in the last 6 months, I've worked out like what gut health does to like everything else. Yeah. So,
Western medicine, man. Like, unfortunately, you need to look deeper into the holistic approach, and a lot of not to attack medical professionals, but you need to kind of link everything together rather than just a kind of the Band-Aid effect of a drug or okay, if it's that symptom, it's this. You need to kind of look deeper. And yes, I'd definitely recommend looking into people who have that more holistic approach, naturopath, stuff like that.
22 weeks, I would go to like a specialist knee, not going to drop the name, but like at some point that person needs to go, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. This isn't out of the orbit. He's like, no. We'll like just see how it goes for next week. Come in, all this sort of stuff. I'm like that sort of stuff has like completely changed my life. Like,
how much reckon you spent on medical professionals?
I don't want to fucking say
40K, 50K.
No, not that much. Maybe I don't know.
After surgeries
all, like
and shit?
If you think about like what I've gone to parties. Yeah. To engagements and thinking about. My back's fucked here. Like I'm in a conversation and my back's killing me. I'm like, how's that good for your like mental health?
Well, this is a big thing that I had when I got in like the osteo industry. When I was osteo for 3 years, started it for 5. I was very good, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I was very good at the osteo. It's not a matter of fixing things. It's the whole approach of like making sure that the patient understands what's going on. Making sure they have a plan rather than just rubbing fucking shit down their back and telling them it's raining or whatever and say, come back in a week. Which, that's the issue. A lot of people are, at the end of the day, that they're running a business, right? They have, you pay them to basically pay their rent. So if you're paying them, that's them winning, but you're not winning because it's not getting fixed. So there needs to be a balance and a trade-off. And something that I stood by at the start, which was probably the fact that I didn't do osteo for money. And that's why I was never relying on it for an income. And I always used to say, all right, first consult, hour and a half, massive history, treat, whatever, get some benefit, whatever. Have a plan. Have a plan going forward. But it wouldn't be like, okay, we're going to treat you 8 times over the next 3 weeks, come twice a week, whatever. It was, okay, come back when we think and when you think you need to come back. And when the customer sees that, that's better. And obviously with your case, a lot of practitioners will be like, okay, we're seeing Jackson 2 times a week for the next 12 weeks. It's like, hang on, are we going to go case by case and actually try and fix you? Or we're just going to try and fill the pocket and multiply that by 10 patients a week and suddenly we've got
look at it holistically income first and then try to narrow in on the actual injury.
So
but however, like I'll shout out Strength Culture, amazing work. Like they do amazing work. I work with them and they're ones that I've seen change with. In terms of the strength, there was other underlying issues that caused me not to be able to get it, but 100% love everything they do there. Ashton, Dr. Ashton, she's been amazing. I'll message her and she understands like hypermobility syndrome, all that sort of stuff, and not fuck around. Like she'll want to get the answer. And I've had a lot of like yourself. Like I'll say, Johnny, like this, that. He'll go, fixed diet, like, you know, and that'll be it. And I'll be like, all right.
Well, I sent you to, how did you go with Jim?
Jim? Yeah, that's another one. So
he helped you with a pretty big decision and stuff going like last year or whatever. I think he told you to quit your job, or did he tell you?
Yeah. Like, so that's scary too.
Started that.
Fuck yeah.
So like, Jim was a tutor at my uni. He's actually he was a doctor. He studied medicine in Greece, and now he educates on pathology at Vic Uni, where we did, where I learnt my osteo. And obviously, he's someone who I've sent probably 20 people to. He actually diagnosed my dad early on with motor neuron disease, where every GP was basically saying my dad had a cold, and shit like that, where he like, you need to see the people who I guess are more, what's the word?
Just get like
more diligent with their approach. Like they look into things deeper,
like
rather than just
get the whole picture. I mean, everyone gets a whole picture, but like they're only like, I don't know. I don't even want to go down this path, but like they're only qualified in their thing. So like, let's just say they know a lot about like bones or whatever it is. However, this is sort of actually like, it's funny you say gym. Gym's probably where it all started for me, because like, you know, you go into a doctor's office and he'll be like, you know, you touch your balls, cough, and like, he goes, he looks me like straight down the barrel and goes like, what do you do for work? Are you happy? And he looked into my soul, and I was like, no. I just said no. I was like, because he hit me, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And I was like, whoa. And then same thing, like he'll ask you sorts of questions. Are you happy in your relationship? And like people would just be like, these are the questions like the questions that are like the big questions. How much sleep are you getting? What are you eating? Like they're the biggest things that you need to like fix before you I don't know, wear ankle brace or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it also goes back to how successful you are in your business. We spoke about with Rob, Go and Eat, is a previous podcast, which has been our second most listened to for some reason. We've never pumped it anywhere. But he spoke about, going off topic, if you're not ready as an individual, psychologically, emotionally, your business is fucked. Like anything you want to achieve is fucked, because you can't do and operate at your full potential because of whatever, mental stress, emotional stress, injuries, health, whatever. If they're not fixed, it's just going to be a not sustainable thing, and eventually something's going to break. So you need to fix yourself first, and whatever that means. But you need to do that. You need to ask yourself, or get other people to kind of ask the important questions, and not just, okay, are you sick? It's like, okay, well, what are you doing? Are you eating well? Getting enough sleep? All that shit is something that humans, as we've evolved, just sort of gets forgotten about a little bit. And we're always on our phones. Yeah. We're changing, and obviously people are just fucking robots. And this is like going to get worse and worse. And you're a big fan of like seeing people evolve and seeing all the different things happen. But yeah, you need to go back and look at those questions, because they are eye-opening.
And a part of what I'm doing, right? So like, you know, changing my job and stuff like that. This like, the other part is like, I've completely scrapped my life, almost like boom, 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 put in the trash. That I'm going to have in my journey an unhealthy, like my life's not balanced yet, like at all. So like, I think we spoke about it once, was like quitting my job is exhausting. Like change is exhausting. So you're going to be like more stressed, all that sort of stuff. So my life's not healthy yet. Like I'm not like, you know, waking up at this time. I'm not sleeping at this time. I'm not switching off, because like, but sometimes like when you make sort of certain changes, like in your life, that will come with some like unhealthy habits, which eventually you got to get out and not get sucked in to the like unhealthy. That. Yeah. Like you got to go back to like,
it's hard, because you're right. You said this the other day. You need to go down
work. You got to like put in the work to like build something, like plant a flower. Yeah. But eventually when that flower's starting to blossom, you need to go back to balanced life.
Yeah, but it's hard. My main, for me personally, that's my problem, is balance. And if you ask me what my goal is in life, it would be balance. And that's very easy to say, but hard to achieve. And you want to...
Someone send Johnny a challenge to go sit in a park without his laptop.
This was probably like 7 years ago, when I had fucking no idea about anything, and no idea about my whys and being present and all that. I was just a robot. Like match betting, the whole weekend would just be on my phone, making 2, 3, 4K, sometimes 8K on the weekend, and think I'm fucking the king of the world at like 24, 23. And then all of a sudden you get to like 27 and you probably realize you don't have a clue about anything to do with like what you're on the planet for or what your why is or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jackson used to be kind of ahead of me, or he still is ahead of me with that stuff and challenges me all the time. And I used to just laugh at it. And then all of a sudden, like there's been a number of things which Jackson says, which I just ignore and say he's an idiot. And then a year later, I'll say, oh yeah, you're right. And he's like, yo, I'm fucking...
No, he won't say you're right. You'll say it. And I'll be like, bro, I fucking told you that like literally 4 years ago. Oh, now it makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. People learn differently at different levels. And yeah, like you said, I personally have gone down a massive rabbit hole with the Hussla Squad, with the system, and obviously with the Hussla Squad USA. And people don't really understand from the outside what goes on in a business. And I'm running 3, not to say that I'm some amazing person, but fucking it takes... My job right now would be wake up at whatever time, and then from that time until... Some days I sit on my laptop from 8 till 10 p.m. Like literally I don't move. And like things go out of the fucking... The world passes.
Yeah, I know. The world doesn't exist anymore.
Food doesn't get made, or like you'll fucking sit there for 7 hours. You won't drink or eat anything. You just get stuck in this like tunnel vision goggles. And it's just like you need to be careful because you need to have the balance. And that's something that I'm definitely getting challenged by. The goal's
has to be a
there.
pathway out of
Correct.
that life.
The goal is there to basically achieve the goals, but you need to make sure that you don't throw everything else out the fucking window or out the bath while you're doing that, because then you're just fucked. What's the point of it all?
What's the point of it?
Exactly. So yeah, no, that's been good by you to keep me accountable on that front. I've probably taken a step back over the last 3 to 4 months. I was going well, start of this year, but it's gone deeper into the hole. And we have to find a way back out.
Yeah, I think that the hole is because more opportunity has come to you, like, and more goals and more like, you know, as you say, clock this, and then you need something.
You can't
to, like,
clock shit.
Yeah,
delete
like,
clocking as a goal.
I've clocked this now, but then what's next? And you need another mountain to climb.
Exactly.
But then that mountain needs work again.
It never ends.
Eventually, you have to to go. How am I going to turn this into a balanced lifestyle for the rest? Because we're 30. Yeah. You're not 30 yet, but you're going to be 30, and 30 is fucking like...
for me, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but like, you know what I mean? Like, kids take up a lot of time. Like,
well, that's my main, like, kids is what my deep goal is.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, cool, make people money, make a successful business, be successful myself, but that's not true, like, satisfaction. My satisfaction would be to provide for kids and have a successful family, right? They're different levels, different things, spectrum of whatever. But yeah, you need to make sure that you don't go down the clocking pathway, because I think that's what I guess my goals were at the start, like beating things. And like, for example, like chess, I go and fucking learn chess at 26 and try and clock it and realize that like it's not clockable, or like spend fucking 10 hours on my phone playing chess all day online. It's like... I need to find balance with everything I do. Yeah. Same goes with like Forex. Tried to learn Forex, spent like 3-6 months doing it. Probably knew how to do it pretty well, but then all of a sudden you lose 15K in 2 weeks, and it's like, well, that probably didn't work. So it's like, that's when Hussla was born. So it's like shit like that. But you just need to be a little bit aware and take the ego out of it and really ask yourself why you're doing things all the time. And that's probably going to keep people a bit more aware of everything.
I think with the coffee chief will be an interesting one, because I'm sure there's like opportunities that will come, and I've got to remain like, why did I do this? Like, I might go, oh, here's an opportunity, and like, this is great and fantastic, and then I've lost why I started in the first place. And my why, when I probably start, was like meeting Jim, health. I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to enjoy my job. Like, enjoying a job is good for your health. Like, being naturally like, I'm a people person. I'm not like someone who's fascinated is like, how's that light work? Like, I'm interested in like, you know, people and stuff like that. I'm a bit like my mum in that sense. Like, she's a people person. So my why was like, I want to make coffee, get to know someone, like have an interaction, a good interaction, hand them a coffee or whatever it is. Even it doesn't have to be a coffee, just like some sort of like, how you going? And that feels good for me. So I guess that's got to always be the why. If I start going down like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then all of a sudden I'm actually like wiring up a 3-phase bean grinder while I'm not even getting to know anyone, like, or interacting with anyone, like, there's no point.
Well, we played your recording before, and you were I saw you listening to try and make sure that your why was still maintained, and you said, yeah, that's good, whatever. Yeah. And then you heard bits of like, oh my God, like I'm a month away from doing my first coffee, and you started cracking the shit at yourself, and it's like, you need to understand that, like, shit takes longer than it does, but progress is there and whatever. Going back to what you're saying before about making decisions and making sure your why, for people who don't understand, things like considering like, okay, I might be able to make, I don't know, 2-3 times what I could doing the other stuff to make sure my why is maintained, and kind of taking the financial over the thing, and you can get kind of down that hole. And you're in a position right now, I don't know if you want to talk about what you're potentially deciding to do, and you messaged me last week, hey, what should I do? You know me pretty well, or one of the best people that knows you. What should I do in this situation regarding the Springvale Business Park? I don't know if you want to mention it.
Yeah, so like I've been doing some stupidity videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
And something just popped up, and a like opportunity in a business park in Springvale has come to me, and like huge opportunity. So it's, and I've just built the trailer. Built the trailer. I put my love, like sweat, tears, blood, all that is in my trailer. And then all of a sudden a huge opportunity where, like, you know, some more stress and income can come in, like, over there. And now I need to make a decision. I'm like, do I want to like live, you know, real like balanced lifestyle, or do I like growth? Because I do like growth too. Growth is good. Like, so is balance. So I'm split between the two, because, you know, you get like, sometimes you get complacent as well. So maybe it's just like, maybe the timing's a little bit off. Like maybe it's,
yeah, well, nothing is ever perfect. That's something that probably people, another thing we can talk about is chasing perfection doesn't exist, unfortunately. I think anyway. I used to think it did. But maybe we've learned that the hard way. But yeah, like timing is something that is important, but sometimes you have to take the hit in whatever way that is to then grow. Bit of forced adaptation again. But I think, and we've both established that you probably should go with it, I reckon anyway. And we're obviously going to try and help you do that in whatever way, like financially, like you've got things to consider. And then you've also got like, your personal decisions to make regarding balance. So regardless, it's an awesome opportunity, and an opportunity that probably only comes out of you putting yourself out there with your social media. Probably didn't have any idea what to do with your socials 6 months ago, but as we say, you just learn and go. The best thing to do starting is just to do, and to do it instead of chasing, okay, I'm going to do this. You just learn how to fucking film shit on your phone. You got a very creative character, which is very useful for this kind of stuff. And despite probably having no idea how to edit shit in terms of the high tech stuff, it achieves its goal. And obviously that's how you're growing your business. And you have to be able to do that these days, as we spoke about on the phone call, and you'll hear this after. It's literally just getting yourself out there in whatever way that is. It has to be on socials. Yeah,
I know. It's the world. I mean, what's your line? Welcome to the world. Like, that's where we're at. Yeah.
So, there's a bit of a smart ass. Yeah, I've got a bit of it, like, welcome to the reality, basically. Yeah. Like you know, wake up Australia.
I'm not sure, like, because I haven't been in business long enough. But like, what people are saying is like, what everyone's saying is exposure. What's the other word? Relativity? No. What starts with R?
Relatability.
No, not relatability.
For what?
Relevant.
Oh, relevant.
You have to be relevant.
Yes, like the news.
Yeah, like it seems like when you say the words like "welcome to the world," that's what you mean by that. Like, you have to be relevant. You have to be out there.
You have to adapt to what's in fashion. Yeah. Unfortunately, like you used to hate, or you still do hate TikTok, and all that.
Yeah, I hate like what it like consuming TikTok.
Yeah, because
I enjoy making videos. I actually like really enjoy it.
but the actual TikTok, fucking don't send me that shit. Like, you don't want to sit there on your phone with the attention span of a 4 second.
Yeah.
Like the way humans' attention span is decreasing. Myself, I've got ADD, so like I can't concentrate on. Like I can't read something. I can't sit there and read something. If you send me something and it's more than fucking 4 sentences, I'm not reading it. Yeah, and it has to be in a video format or listening or whatever. And if it's in that format, I'll consume the whole thing and probably remember all of it. But if I see an essay, which is, I didn't realize this until I was 26, 25. At uni, whenever there was an article or something, forget about it. And just like journal articles, all that research subjects, fucking nearly failed all of them, right? Mm-hmm. But as soon as it's video and that, it's all that. So humans are going down that pathway of sitting on their phone. Yep, next video. And it's like, but at the same time, if you put out that content to the right eyes, you can. It's a no-brainer to use those platforms, especially TikTok, because as we've spoken about in the call later, you'll hear one video. We put out a video yesterday, 90,000 views and going, and it's like the amount of exposure we've got, fucking DMs from left, right, and center. It's just, you have to do it. Like, you're stupid if you're not doing it for your business. Yeah.
And then, as you were living with me, I would see you on your phone. Like, you would not, I'd be like, hey, Johnny, and he'd be making a TikTok, and I'd just be like, man, he doesn't know what day it is. And now that like I have to do that, I can understand it can be like a little bit of a dark path too, because you're spending so much time on this, this video, and I spoke with you and Tom. I'm like, how the hell do I do this and not get like consumed and emotionally consumed by it too? Like,
yeah, you post a video, gets 7 views, and you're like, what the fuck's the point of that? Literally, it's a thing. And then when you go viral, it's like, fuck yeah, I'm the king, like all this dopamine rush, see all the fucking notifications, like, yeah, I've clocked it.
One of my shittest videos did good, and I'm like watching the views go up. I'm like, stop going up. That's a shit video. And then I'll put like my love in a video, and I'm just sitting in it, and it's like, oh, like bugger, like that was shit.
Yeah, but you did say like you need to stop getting consumed by it. Like you get all this like deflation after you post something. You think it's going to go really well. I've done videos where I spent literally 2.5 hours doing it to post a 60-second clip. Yeah. And it goes like 300 views. And it's like, what was the point of that? Yeah,
not even the views. It's more like because you've emotionally invested into that video.
Yeah.
And you just want it to like to do what it's designed to do and like not be a waste of time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. Like the monkey side of us, like we say monkey. What I mean by that, we always say it, a lot of people might not understand what that means. Instant gratification monkey. Yeah. We call it monkey. So like you want instant results, whether it be in investing, whether it be following a service, a tipping service, whether it be trying to make a grand in your first day doing match betting. All that revolves investing in crypto, expecting the coin to go to the moon, whatever. Yeah. That's all monkey. Like that mindset is fucking, you're cooked. Until you work that out, you're done. So I'm going to make this video and it's going to be the best video ever, having the expectation of I'm going to get 30 DMs from it, and if it doesn't, it's a failure. Delete it, because the long term of you posting 300 videos over 3 months instead of one video that's instant return is going to have better impact. And obviously the consistency is always going to beat the monkey. So that's the moral. Just keep posting, keep putting your shit out, keep achieving what you want to do. And eventually that's going to achieve more than, this video is going to go viral. So long term is the key there. Patience.
Exactly. And that's what Tom said. Post it and forget about it.
Yeah, literally just leave it.
And then it's just like, it's just your job. Like it's just part of it.
And that's a big part of why the system especially has been so successful, because we've got 3 of us making videos. We've got the podcast now. Hussla is obviously the foundation of that, but both are blowing up fast, because of the fact that it's just consistency, and you can't ignore consistency. The same goes with like Strength Culture, the way they've modeled their business, have been really successful on their socials. Shout out to Jamie, get me on your fucking podcast already. We want to get that on there. And you can have a chat to him this weekend. But yeah, we want to get onto that podcast. So Jamie Smith, get me on your podcast. But they've been very successful in that because of the consistency, and it's not one video, and you can't ignore it. Like at the start, we're copying all this hate. Oh, it's a bullshit, it's a scam, whatever. And eventually it changes to, oh, you're just fucking trying to make money. Or if you're so good, once they realize it works, if you're so good, why aren't you doing it yourself? And then it moves to like, oh, you only have 300 subscribers. Then it moves to, and it's just like, eventually you just filter out these people because, and we're not making the videos to prove anything, but the key moral of the story here is consistency will always defeat anything.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Like, just keep posting, and eventually you'll achieve what you want to do. Same with anything. Keep going to the gym, you'll achieve results. If you're doing it properly, just keep going. Progression beats perfection. So, yeah. Don't know if you have anything to add with that, but
No, man, that's straight up. Straight up, consistency is key.
yeah. Same with anything, like fucking health. There's no quick fix with health.
Yeah, that's right.
Same goes.
I'll tell you that firsthand.
Yeah. I don't know. You want to keep talking shit, or you want to round it up?
We could talk shit for a bit, but just before I forget, I just do want to thank the Hussla Squad for sponsoring me this weekend.
Yeah, I'm over here.
But they're watching. I just want to thank the Hussla Squad. Little background story is that I've invested a lot of time and money into my horse float, and they're coming in there. They've paid for a tank of petrol, my stock, cups, my chai, my beans, all that sort of stuff, and just helping me out for this weekend.
And the tea tins, which is extraordinary price, 50 cents a tea bag for a little bit of tea and some paper. But I just want to thank that before I forget. But yeah, happy to talk some shit too. Well, you want to make our own podcast, me and you, which we probably will do eventually. I've got a list of shit that I need to do behind all the other shit, which who knows if it will ever get done. But that one of those things is having a podcast with one of my best mates and basically just talking absolute rubbish. Yeah. Maybe even going in reviewing coffees and breakfasts and shit like that, which I think people will find interesting. But we won't have any links yet, but if we ever do, what we're going to call it?
We'll see. No, we'll see how this goes because everyone's got one of those mates that you'll be on the phone with them and not a word is said, right? So I reckon I've chalked up. There could be you look at your phone. Oh fuck! It's been 4.5 hours.
Yeah, I reckon I've spoken to you on the phone for maybe 6 months to a year of my life. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, crazy. So that's the sort of anyway, with your idea, you just want to talk some shit a bit light-hearted sort of stuff. And I think this is the only I feel like I've got this feels amazing because I'm getting your full attention. I've never got your full I've never in history got your full attention last night.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely someone who needs to focus and get that balance right with focusing on fucking people and not being distracted by my phone or whatever. And to be honest, I feel like I've spoken about this with Kiro. It is literally, I live in two different worlds. So I live in the phone world and the laptop world where I'm consumed by that. And when I'm in that zone, I'm a machine, but I'm also completely ignorant to whatever else is out there and the world just passes by. And then you've got this other world where you delete your phone, delete your laptop.
I don't think anyone's seen that, Johnny.
No, people have, but it's not frequent enough. Yeah. And the people who do see that, obviously, it's a different side of me. But
there's a weird side to Johnny.
That's my goal.
I want to get that Johnny out. That weird,
No, that's it. That's the goal. I want to get to that.
There's business Johnny who speaks the way he's speaking now, but there's another Johnny.
They'll see it eventually, but it's more not even the way I speak. It's more just turning it off. And once it's off and relaxed and I know everything's sorted, because I like to have control over things, which is probably an issue with mine, which I've identified. Mm-hmm. But for example, now Hussla, right? Hussla for the first 12 months was me. And if I disappeared, the business is fucked. So if I'm not posting a video, if I'm not responding to people in the DMs, sending them 8 minutes of voice, it's over. No sales, nothing gets done, finished. Now we've got 2 editors, comments on the TikTok sorted. We've got people in the DMs. So we've got a few staff members here or there that have automated it to a degree, but it's still not fully done. We're a month off doing that. And what my goal is, as you said, is to get out of that hole, is to be able to, film this podcast right now. I literally walk out of the room. The podcast gets edited. The clips get posted. It gets fucking captioned. The timestamps are done. It gets posted on YouTube. It gets posted on Spotify. It gets posted on Instagram, TikTok. And then I just fucking go off and relax. And obviously that sounds really selfish. But if you understood what goes on to get to the point of a business, which you now are.
Why is that selfish? You've probably given 4 people jobs.
Well, yeah. But it also is like, okay, well, I'm the one collecting all the pie at the end of the day. But the reality is we've had probably 130 weeks of fucking 6 day a week, 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day, some cases 18 hours a day work. You've seen me wake up from work 5 a.m. and I'm still doing fucking recordings. And he's like, well, you've been up early. I'm like, mate, I haven't even gone to bed yet. So it's like, whatever. And then the day passes, go to bed at like 9 a.m. So not to gloat, but that's what goes on. And it's nice to get the reward of the get out after a while, which I think you, seeing this, probably get the advantage of not fucking it up like I have in terms of like going too far deep into that hole.
I've been watching every mistake you make.
Yeah, and that's
every
the beauty
fucking
of
mistake.
Yeah, leveraging off people who do things first is the best thing. So like we've had people who will try and copy us in ways, and that's fine. Like we're not gonna do that 100% because the best businesses and the best stuff are copies of failures and made better. Talk about when you rocked up in Berlin and you didn't know what day it was when you walked out of the train station. This fucking 6-foot Aussie.
No, it wasn't Berlin. It was Machen.
Oh, Munich. Sorry, yeah. Go back to that because that was during a time where you just won a premiership. Norm Smith. 2 days earlier, before that, Granny didn't even think you'd play because you woke up with back fuck. And then you next minute.
Thank God, Ashton again. She got me out.
Literally couldn't move.
Yeah.
Did you train Thursday night?
So I did it Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I went in, told Ashton that I said my back's fucked.
But you didn't want to tell anyone else.
I didn't want to tell anyone, and she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I can't move," and she's like, "All right, like jump on the table and like." Anyway, she's like, "You're gonna like sort of have to like fake this a little bit."
Was this at footy training?
This is footy training. So I was
Tuesday
like,
night before a granny.
Tuesday night. So Saturday's the granny. Tuesday night, I was tying my shoes up.
Yeah.
To get in the car to go, and my back just went bang. Like I'm like, fuck, what was that? And I went down on the floor, and I'm like, like what the fuck's happened? And I've just got like this like extraordinary pain like running down my back. Anyway, so I had to like roll up, climb myself up on the couch, get in the car, drive down to Bacchus Marsh. I was in Bacchus Marsh, so it was only like literally a kilometre drive. Got to training, and I'm like, yeah, Ashton, I'm fucked here. Like, anyway, so she did some work, a couple of mobility stuff, and not many people knew that I had a fuck back at that point. And they had a really big training session too. Like it was, bring the crowd, like, bring the people of Bacchus Marsh in. And I think I came out for the final like handball drill that everyone was like, yeah, let's go, like sort of thing. And I'm like, what do I do here? I had to drive back to Melbourne, heat pack. So
whatever. You didn't train the first 90% of the session or whatever?
Yeah, just the last like...
Did you tell the coach?
No one knew.
So you just went in?
Just went in, yeah.
Didn't even warm up, nothing?
Ashton goes, you can't like say this because you might not get picked.
Yeah, well, with all due respect to the side, you're probably a pretty important cog in the side. So
yeah, I know,
you're
but
not going to get dropped.
In saying that,
risky to bring an injured player into a grand final.
So Thursday, so then the so Wednesday the injury's now at like I've got DOMs throughout my whole back, like stiff as a board. You know when you have an injury, like stiff as a board. So like, I don't know, a little bit of needling, a little bit of this, whatever. And then Thursday night, she's like, you're going to have to train. Trained again, like on the Thursday night, it pulled up sore again. And at this point, I was just praying. I'm like, I got picked, and I'm praying that I can get.
Did they have any idea you were injured?
No.
No one knew.
Only Ashton knew.
They didn't even know before the game.
No. Yeah, and I did like activations, fucking like get the glutes like firing so that like take all the stress on the back. No pills.
No pains.
I was worried about pills. You know why I'm worried about pills? Is you take a pill and you start to move like more freer, and that's when it can go again. Yeah,
but hang on a Saturday during the granny, nothing. Yeah, nice. Because
it's like I've had pills before, and that's when I get injured. Like I used to take like Nurofen to like get up, and then game day. One of the Sunbury boys made a comment. Like me and Ashton were out on the field, like, and she was doing like throwing the ball down, and I was just like picking it up, and make sure everything was right. and some Sunbury guy makes a comment. He's like, "Ooh, looks a bit sore there, mate. Like, what's going on?" So they already knew, I was Sunbury knew at that point that I was sore. And he came and smashed me off the ball early on in the game. It's tested out. And then that day, just amazing day. We ended up winning. I got through. I came off the ground more than I would normally, which no one really noticed. But I was just lucky that I got through, and then maybe a little bit of adrenaline and all that sort of stuff. Won the flag, won the first ever Bacchus Marsh history's flag. And the club hadn't made finals for 15 years. So very special memory for me. So that's that story.
Yeah, nice. That was 2016, yeah?
Yeah,
we lost the flag that year.
You did, I remember
that was my,
watching,
unfortunately.
Did I watch that the week before?
Yeah. And that was massive because you went to Europe 3 days later? Or
it was
a couple of weeks later?
Maybe a week later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I, still yet to win a senior flag. I'm still playing, so I probably will chase that for a long time. But it was very good to see. I wasn't there that day. I think I went to Cairns for footy trip.
Yeah, footy trip, yeah.
But I remember checking the scores and seeing Jay Bolton 3 votes.
Yeah.
And obviously a massive reward, I guess, for your footy career.
Oh, that point was the point when the siren went was it was all that trauma, that body trauma was actually paid for something. Mate, I went through a lot of mental issues with all that pain and stuff, and then I was I've got something, thank you, I've got something that came from that pain, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, sick. And then you stopped a year later, you were best on ground in a losing granny the year after.
Lost the year after, and then the year after I was just completely worn out. I couldn't really sort of go anymore.
Yeah, so 2017 was the end of your career.
I played a little bit in the 18 to help out towards finals.
Yeah. We'll try and get you back down at where I play, but...
How's that looking at the moment?
Yeah, we dropped a game on the weekend, which probably will cost us... now we're in a position where we need to rely on other results to make it.
Mm-hmm.
We fucked ourselves early by losing games where we shouldn't have, and now we've had to play catch up. We went on a run where we've won 5 in a row, and then we're toppling everyone. We beat second. We lost after the siren against third, which was controversial. Everyone basically ran onto the ground because the goal was kicked after the siren went. But either way, we lost that. And then obviously we've beaten 4th, 5th, and then we lost to 6th on the weekend, which now it's a massive logjam to get into 4th and 5th spot. So now we need to win on the weekend against 5th or 6th, and then we need to rely on someone else beating 5th or 6th. So it's out of our hands. We must win, and then we must rely on someone else beating. Probably fucked ourselves, but if we can get in, we've had some injuries to our top players as well, which is going to hurt, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we've got one round to go, but either way, it's been a good year. Last year, we had COVID, and we won one game for the year. Absolutely diabolical season in terms of we lost a lot of players early on, and then obviously had to come back, and now being an older guy, leadership group, etc., has been a nice reward for effort to see younger guys, I guess, grow under more leadership and better players. And it's amazing what better players bring to a group. Even if the list seemed like it was rubbish, I was always optimistic in that fact that it was all belief-based, and it's been evident. Early on, belief was rubbish because we were losing again. Mm-hmm. But now since that's come up, we're just winning games against. It's just all mental. So next year, go again. Hopefully we can recruit a little bit more, a couple, 3, 4 more players. But the league is so even, and I think anyone can win it still. But yeah, anyway. I don't normally talk about footy because I like to keep a private profile with all that rubbish because people, as you know, can be a bit, I don't know,
scathing,
different on TikTok. Do you want to talk more shit?
What the shit you want to talk? I don't know. It feels like it's getting dark in here.
Dark? No, it's fucking a bit cloudy outside. It's only about, 10:30? What's the time?
I don't know.
10:30 a.m.
It'd be interesting to see how long this goes. No, I've got a event. I've got an event this weekend. It's the Strength Culture Cup. My very first event, I did a netball event, which was a practice go, but this is like the real deal. So very excited about that this weekend. Actually nervous. I'm getting nervous like talking about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw at the start when all the lights went on here, you got pretty nervous.
Yeah.
And it's been nice to see you.
I'm nervous, like it means something.
Relax now. But no, it'll be a massive day for you because obviously they're a very, very big, successful company and service or whatever, product. They've got the powerlifting comp and nice exposure for you.
Yep.
And obviously we'll get some of these clips out from this podcast onto your socials. And that should help as well. As well as make sure you do listen to the end of this phone call. It's a really nice insight into someone who starting off a business. You may be able to relate if you're someone who's not as passionate in your job and you want to kind of, I don't know, turn your life upside down and go down that forced adaptation pathway. But yeah. All right, we'll shut up shop because you're not worth more than a couple of hours to me anyway these days. So we'll go downstairs. We'll fucking put this editor joint together and start putting out some clips.
Yeah.
And I've got to get some work done as well. So yeah, if you want to follow Jackson, follow him at the Coffee Chief. I'll claim the name of that. The old mate's over there, the chief himself.
This is the chief. Meet the chief.
Yeah, so follow him on his Instagram. His TikTok, he's lazy, so he doesn't post much, but follow that too because we'll get that going with some clips, etc., etc. They're not going to be able to see you because I've got my camera on, but we can turn that on if you want to do that.
We'll edit that in.
Okay.
Chief.
But yeah, follow him. Put all the links in the description. We'll put the link and add the phone call now to the end of this podcast. Apologies if it's a long one. But make sure if you do want to know anything about his business, send him a DM on Instagram. Doesn't have a website yet. He's still in motion with that. Call him if you want. Put your number in there or no?
No number.
No number. Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what his business does over the next few months, years, days, whatever. But enough shit talk here. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep listening to our content, and most likely you'll see a lot more shit talk once me and Jackson start another Stupidity channel podcast. Or whatever, Stupidity Podcast. So stay tuned for that. Either way, if you have any questions for Hussla, DM, Instagram, or links in the description. See you later. Anything else?
No, that's it. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah, so what's this?
This is a recorded podcast of how we started your coffee business.
Yeah, nice. You learn something every day.
So what's your product?
My product. So we need to define product.
Well, how is your business idea going to generate you money or profit?
Yeah. Okay. So forms of profit is obviously selling the actual product from the thing, which is coffee and whatever. So juice, maybe muffins, jaffle, whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
That's one. Two, hiring it out to events.
Yep.
There you go. Set fee, $1,000, whatever. Whatever it is. That's two.
Yeah.
And I guess what you mean by what's your product is like, how do you separate yourself? Is that what you mean?
No, just how does it make money is what I meant.
Okay, so those are probably the two ways it makes money.
Yeah, nice. So you said you currently set it up as a sole trader. How big do you plan this on getting?
Yeah, as I was saying before, I don't want to go full down the fucking Gary V train.
What does that mean?
Conquer the world and buy 1,000 trailers and stress my dick off.
Probably a bit off that. So
I want to go
settle down for a bit.
In between, maybe a little bit of that with enjoying actually being in my coffee van, selling coffees, getting to know my clientele, sort of thing. But maybe room for growth. I don't know. I guess maybe.
Do you have plans in hiring out your van and then also potentially making more vans or no?
Well, this seems. I actually don't know what the fuck's going on, to be honest. I don't know where this is. I'm taking this day by day, but this is why it's good to have this conversation because, yeah, I just don't know where it can go. But I don't want to be closed off to anything either, if that makes sense.
All right, so what's next? So how long until this thing's ready?
Well, I got the flooring in today. Hard to tell, but, like, the guts of it will be, like, close to finished. Making my first coffee in about a month all this.
So you plan to get ready in a month?
Yeah. There'll probably be some fine tuning like stuff, but I reckon a month. The guts of it will be close to like 80 to 90% done.
So what does that mean? Like, what are you doing? You're gonna set up shop fucking somewhere, or are you looking for business? Are you looking for people to host your events? Like, well, how are you gonna make it?
Well, I'm going to build it, play with it a bit, see how it feels, see what I can sell in there. Like, what are we doing? What sort of am I going to look for? Footy games, some Aussie games, netball games, weddings. Am I going to look for beachside? Am I going to tee up a permit for like a spot sort of thing? And I think I'll get that vibe once I'm in it and whatever.
Yeah.
That's that. While I'm building it, I'm in the process of getting permits and stuff like that. I'm trying to streamline it as much as I can.
So is there boundaries on where you can set up? Like,
yeah, there definitely is, but this is where it comes into marketing and trying to get it looking as mick as it can, because you don't need a permit for a private. Like if someone said, hey, we're doing an event, like I think we
okay, so basically, this is very basic. It's probably wrong, but if you just set up on the side of the road, you would need a council permit.
yeah, correct.
But if you set up in a fucking school fete, you don't need one.
Yeah. So you need to register your cart to your council, and you need to have a permit for the specific spot, and that there might be some fees involved in that too. And then if you want to, let's say a footy club goes, come down, we've got a day, like we need you, blah blah blah. Then that's just a private.
So there's no licensing fee or anything for that license.
There
Permit,
will be council fees, yeah, for sure, and registration fees and all that sort of shit, but not for like footy games. But the footy, like whoever it is might go, oh, we want a cut or something like that. Like it depends on that's
yeah,
another.
okay, so
another
that's you're
kind of-
dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So in terms of how this is all going to start, obviously once the product's ready, once the service can run, once the machine is up and running, everything's working, then obviously whatever the fuck you want to do, you can. But how you're going to get that out there to people? What's your plans?
Well, that's the thing. That's the part where I need to create a brand and make it people that want something like what I'm selling out there.
What about
Catch an audience? If my neighbor next door knows I've got one, and that person knows someone that needs something, then there's so.
Yeah, nice. So, what about like? Have you looked into competition? Like, what's going to separate your cart? Like, what is this something you've looked into? Is there many of these out there?
There's definitely some out there for sure. Horse floats, probably not. Like the size and the style, I reckon that I'm going for is definitely going to be one of the better ones that I've seen. I love that there's a few things that are going to separate myself. So I'm building a electrical system that's going to be battery powered for 3 to 6 hours. So that's you're not going to have a stinky, smelly, loud generator.
Yep.
Some of it's solar powered as well. It's going to be small and easy and convenient sort of thing. Style wise, presentation wise, service wise, I'm trying to get that as high quality as I can get it. But at the end of the day, coffee is everywhere. So you're also competing with cafes. So you've got to somewhat make yourself make a difference point of difference.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is like obviously something that I can probably help with, being someone who's not an expert at marketing, but I've definitely built Hussla from the ground up and seen what works and what doesn't, and you can leverage off that. But the first thing I would suggest is obviously branding it. So logo, making a name and a brand rather than you being the business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first failure of most small businesses, is they have to be the brand, and they end up, if they leave, the business leaves, which is something I've previously been a failure of with like Osteo and stuff, but not as much with Hussla. Hussla a brand. The coffee cart needs to be a brand, so not Jacko's cart. That's not a company, so a brand. So that's that. But then from there, you need to make it very. So like obviously these days, best form of marketing is social media by a mile. Especially if you're looking to be going like kind of, I don't know, like where do you plan on going around Melbourne? Is it like the whole Vic or is it Australia? Like what's
Vic, you don't want to carry a coffee trailer around too much.
Yeah, so just Vic. And like what area? Specific areas of Vic or like any Vic?
No specific. Probably like somewhat close to where I am, so I'm not driving too much. because that comes at cost of petrol, especially where we're at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Now is where the social media comes in. So I think best thing to do for you would be to paint a picture, like obviously paint the story of your journey along the way, which I know you've already started doing, filming, you create it, etc. And then in that story then becomes the little brand, and that's a brand in itself. So like it's a story behind the brand. Gives the brand a little bit of guts, which is people like to see a story. They get emotionally attached to the brand. It makes them more likely to engage in it. And then from there, you can obviously get them to then essentially make money from that, which is probably going to be more so on a marketing level. You're not going to go and sell coffee to someone who sees your coffee cart, right? But you might get people that want to hire it or want you at their venue, which is, I think, where it's going to be a huge exposure on the social media channels, more so than the selling coffee. The selling coffee happens once you've got the event set up. That's a given. If you're kind of monopolized at that event, you obviously make good coffee. You're going to have good product. So it's just getting the business is what's going to be the kicker. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, that's fair. So you've got to sort of develop a brand that's catchy and got a bit of guts to it.
We just make it very clear, make it simple, make it easy for them to be able to say, okay, I want you at this time and this place, and you can have that ability to do that. And that's going to come through obviously having a back end that's very, very structured and almost automated. So someone might be able to click on a link and say, okay, I want this coffee cart or this horse float at my location this Saturday between this time.
Yeah, so you can almost have a booking system.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's to that length yet, but in the end, if you're having like 5 horse floats, then yes, that will, because all the stuff, like the time aspect of you running the business is all adds up. So you don't want to be constantly doing shit for the business when it could be automated from the start. So that's definitely something, a booking system, yeah, for sure. But going back even simpler, just having a website, having a social media platform, Instagram. My personal favorite, which I know you hate, is TikTok, but that is by far the best marketing platform to get mass views on a single video. The potential to get massive off one video or get views on one video is ridiculous on TikTok. And honestly, if you know one video, that's all it takes with TikTok to actually get it, like to make it, I guess. Personally, some of my videos, like one video might have generated like $20,000 or $30,000 or more in some cases from one video. So for you, you might get one video that goes viral and you get like 100 leads, which leads to like 20 of your bookings. Like, fuck me, you've nailed massive amount of revenue for a whole year, and you've probably created like ongoing revenue as well. Those people will come back and use you again, and then from there it just works like word of mouth, and suddenly you've got a brand that's then in demand, and then you can then leverage off that and make more horse floats and service more people. Supply and demand. But yeah, it all starts back to having the website and having the clear process where people can do that.
Yeah.
For you right now, I would be focusing on obviously getting the horse float ready, and then from there you need to have the videos and shit that you put out are just going to be like sell it for you, but you need to have the products ready and the systems ready for them to buy in, because there's no point having 300,000 eyes on your product and there's no ability for them to do anything about it.
That makes sense. Nothing to sell.
So you
have to wait another 4 months.
Correct. And then like you have to wait for another viral video to cash in, when it's like, okay, we'll make product, make it clear, make it simple, and then just launch videos that can get eyes on your service because it's ready to go.
Yeah.
As opposed to launching videos and then making it after, because you're losing potential there.
Yeah. So it's almost like your would you say that your Instagram can be like your website in a sense, like where you have all your
yeah.
And then
I'd still get a website, but you can have that, yeah, for sure. You don't need a website.
Yeah, so it's almost like your Instagram tells people what you do in a very basic manner. TikTok is like catch people to then lead you to what we do or what they do or who it does.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a little bit of ring work like that.
Yeah, so both of them have the potential to get mass views. TikTok way better, but Instagram is good for reels because it helps you to like a reel can go to external accounts, not just the ones that follow you. Stories only to the ones that follow you. And then you can go like Instagram lives, TikTok lives, which probably would be a benefit to your service. You can add extra things that people might not think about, like, I don't know, kind of like coffee videos potentially that aren't specifically selling your product, but it gets them to click on your bio, which then has the product there.
Yeah.
You don't always want to be a seller. Like in a marketing sense, it can come across as too salesy sometimes. But if you're providing value to the customer, like if there is an interest in your product, or an interest in them to click on your video, then that's a win. And that's what you want to try and achieve. You want to provide value without always being a salesman. And then the salesman does itself.
Well, yeah, you're not like,
after a while.
I assume with some of the videos I've made, you're not selling. It's like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. You're just literally
Correct.
being your brand or your
Correct.
product, and
Being authentic.
they're either
and
going to
organic.
like or they're not. That's it.
Yeah, spot on. It's called the VAR principle: value, attention, and relatability. So you want to provide value to the customer, you want to get them attention, and then you want to be able to relate to them. So like, there's no point going and, I don't know, talking about some boring shit that no one can relate to, because no one's going to be interested in it. Then you lose attention, and then obviously there's no value. So you want to hit those three things. So it's called AVR, not VAR.
AVR, yeah.
Yeah, attention, value, relatability. That's one thing in marketing. Every single content product, every single bit of content you put out should have that in it.
Interesting. It's very interesting, actually.
I'm making a link tree, which is a little website thing that's on the website, which I showed you the other week, which shows you how to, like, my story, this is my story, this is my product, you can book here, contact us here, follow our socials here, and then maybe you can add like a YouTube channel where you're doing educational videos on coffee or showing people how to make coffee or something, which could be like a free thing as part of your company, which gets people and gets eyes on your service, which then leads to a product. Which is something that I would do. Essentially, just putting out videos about you selling your horse float and your coffee won't be as effective as you putting out free coffee tutorials.
Yep.
Because people will be like, oh, I'm just trying to sell it. Versus, okay, this guy's providing me value for the coffee educational course on how to make a coffee, and then you're now getting customers from that.
Yeah.
Potentially even make a coffee course.
Yeah, interesting. Coffee course.
And then eventually down the track, if you wanted to go full on serious, you make a coffee cart internship. The people teach them how to make coffee.
Or make a cart. Teach them how to sell business.
Correct.
Interesting. That opens the whole game up.
Welcome to the world. Well, that's it for me. I have to go inside.
Beautiful, mate.
So hopefully the people are listening to this, if this ever gets out there, that's a genuine organic chat there. That was not fucking staged or anything. That's us talking shit. So that is someone who's starting off a new business, gone from an electrician to basically taking a year off work to start as a barista, coaching and kind of working his ass off on a piss hourly rate to learn. Going from making six figures consistently really well, and then going back, and what me and Kiro talked about today on another podcast was like forced adaptation. So like suffering a little bit financially, and then you've had a period of how long? Like probably like 2 months where you had no income.
Oh yeah, probably. What is it? November to almost now. I've been making a little bit of income, but not much.
So like almost 4 months of like minimal income, which ends up being forced adaptation because you need to grow. And instead of going back and working as an electrician, knowing you could probably make 2-3K a week, knowing that that's not going to benefit you long term because it's not what you want to do, you're not happy. You'd rather take the 4 months forced adaptation, learn what it's like to earn $1 again, learn how valuable money is, and then all of a sudden you're probably going to create a brand that will then generate you way more profit, which is just a byproduct of you being passionate and doing what you want to do. Obviously, the money is a byproduct of that. You're not doing this to chase money. You're doing this because you want to do it, which is a good reason to start a business and a good reason as to why, like, you're providing value as your main reason to customers, as opposed to, okay, I want to get rich. The person that is providing value as their why is going to be more successful than the person that wants to get rich.
Yeah, right.
So, the rich may come from it as a byproduct of you being successful, which is the way to go about it. That was just a little bit of an insight as to how you would plan and what can come from a basic idea, and how, as Jackson said, opens up the doors. There's always opportunity to do different things once you have a clear structure and a clear product. If you're kind of in between with everything, you get lost very quickly.
Exactly right.
Anyway, any questions before you go?
Nah, you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head with the you got to learn about money again. That's for sure. That's for sure. You can get
That's definitely something that I've been heavy on, and we've spoken about this before. Stay at home as a male. Like, we can relate. We're 29. Imagine living with your parents at 29. And no offense to anyone who does this, but unfortunately, those guys are going to be a little bit kind of, what's the word? Maybe a little bit behind when it comes to independence, kind of doing your own washing, cooking for yourself, looking after yourself, all that stuff.
You might need.
Sorry?
Just genuine skills that you probably need in
life skills, independence. Like, you shouldn't have to rely on someone else, and that's the expense of saving an extra maybe 100k over 10 years. Like, I'd rather take the 100k, give it to a landlord, and have the life experience, because that's what the cost is.
What do we say? Get what you pay for.
Well, yeah, you do. Forced adaptation, go broke and make sure you adapt. Put yourself under stress, adapt. Otherwise, you'll just be in that comfort drug forever, like a lot of people do get sucked into. And then when they get to 50, they're like, fuck, I should have actually done that when I was 20 or 25.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Exactly.
Just fail. Fail is better than doing nothing.
That's it, mate.
Anyway, I gotta go inside. But, nice talking to you. Hopefully we can get some plans going, and in a month's time you'll have a business that's growing and everyone wants to book in with you.
That's it. That's the goal.
I heard your coffees are pretty good though.
Oh, they need a bit of improvement. We'll work at it.
No, I would say that they're top notch. I think it was like top 3 in Aspendale or wherever you were working previously.
Oh, it's top 5. Yeah, it was ranked top 5 in Aspendale.
Since you've stopped there,
yeah,
I have got coffees and stuff from different people, because obviously I don't live around that area, and I haven't been able to attend that cafe because you're not working. But I honestly don't think
I do
the
feel
coffee was appreciated as much as it should have been back then.
I think the people I feel sorry for the people in Aspendale, to be honest.
Yeah. I had a coffee yesterday and had to send it back. I felt really bad, but I sent you a photo of it and it was just a bit, I don't even know. You said it was curdled.
Yes.
Had to actually get my missus to ask because I was too scared.
Did you get a new one?
Yeah, I got a new one. It was poorly explained by me, because he came back and asked, because I actually changed it to normal latte, normal milk, not almond.
Yeah.
And he came back and thought that I was supposed to have ordered a normal milk first.
What do you mean?
Well, he didn't realize, because he's like, oh, was that supposed to be normal milk? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I didn't really understand his question, but I realized after he was asking me if we made the mistake ordering the normal milk, ordering the almond instead of the milk.
Yeah, right.
But it's beyond the point. Like, I don't think that guy really understood coffee, because regardless of what order I ordered, the milk was fucked. So it was fully separated from the coffee. So yeah, that it wasn't my stuff up, even though it wasn't. Even if it was, still the coffee was shit. So
yeah, just get it right. That's it.
Well, yeah, I think it was all show, no go, because at the front it was a big, like, everyone was dressed up and ready to go. There was like three guys and girls working at the front, and then I got even the second coffee, the latte, was just a bit. I don't think it was going well for them.
Yeah, might set my truck out the front of their joint then.
Yeah, you might be driving. You might be driving a fair way down in Sorrento, but we won't name
Sorrento.
Very, very good food. Very good food. Oh, actually, should we give him a plug or not?
No, you're not what you said about them.
No, like, the food's elite.
Okay.
But I mean, there's not many coffee joints in Sorrento. But if they hear this, shout out to the guy. He sounds like a pretty cool guy, entrepreneur. But food elite, too expensive. Coffee shit house, and what else? It was
coffee.
We use one of those apps.
Cheap.
You know those apps where you order by menu?
Oh, is it like the yeah?
So minimal, like, QR code, minimal love, not a lot of kind of customer engagement. So that's a big if you're gonna do that, everything needs to be perfect. And unfortunately, the coffee wasn't. And
if you don't get that QR code right and there's mishaps, it destroys the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, there's another business idea, I think. Whoever's on the QR apps, like those apps that are providing the service to be able to order, Whoever's thought of that is a genius. But if you wanted to go international and kind of make your own app like that and mimic one of the ones that are already there, I reckon going to like not third world countries, but like countries that are a bit behind, like in like Europe and America maybe, or cities where you can sell that app idea to restaurants, I think would be an elite idea. But I personally don't have the time to do it. But I think that's good. What's that?
Indonesia, Bali.
Maybe I don't know. You know Bali better than me. I've never been there.
They are busy.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that idea. But I reckon that one's a good one to get on top of if you have any ideas.
Send it off, patent it and send it off.
Yeah, no, it's already been done a few times. But maybe just make it better and get in quick to some areas that haven't got it yet. Anyway, nice talking to you. Hopefully, we'll stay in touch and see how it goes.
All right, done.
Sure, we'll succeed. See you later.
Legend. Catch you, mate.
What do you want to talk about? Comfy chairs.
Well, you don't like him?
Could be better, but they're right. That pink real pops behind that blue. Good. Who's your favourite podcast so far?
I haven't really had many guests, to be honest.
Guests?
Yeah.
What number guest am I?
3.
3? Yeah. Number 3? Yeah. Fucking, I thought it was like 50 down the road.
As in guest?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3. I haven't had many.
What, Charlie, the psychologist, and I'm 3. Fuck. I thought it was way down the list. I thought it was like 26 or something. Come here, Chief. Off. Come here.
When are we putting this call on?
Which call?
Your call. Old call.
My call, I reckon it's one of those ones you go like, yeah. So I reckon the call, maybe do like a little clip of the call, and then say like at the end of the podcast, if you want to listen to the whole the whole call, and put that after the podcast.
Haircut. What? Have you got your hood?
Have you got a brush in the bathroom?
Do you want one?
No, for you.
No, I didn't use brushes. I like this hood though. Your hood's shit. Your hood doesn't stick up like mine, does it? Oh, it does. Hey!
Chief, come.
Get off!
Come here.
Fucking hell.
On the 5th hump, you're out. What's the claps for?
Sync the audio.
Where'd you learn all this podcast like stuff?
I'm having a podcast.
So you just first podcast it just.
What's that?
So like the first podcast was just like learning and just, or did you go on YouTube and learn all?
We don't really water many of the plants.
No.
You don't need to. Look at them, it's healthy, yes.
Yeah, no, very healthy.
But like probably 2 weeks. I don't know. Fucking.
I put
I don't do anything with that.
I've got some plants in my coffee cart now. But the only place to put them is on the coffee machine, and I've bought these mugs. So I'm not sure if they're gonna like overheat or will be right.
Well, that's no other place to put.
No.
I will sure work it out. But
yeah.